I just gotta say, a lot of these characters are getting a bunch of really good revamps because of, you know, honestly, Fountaine. Fountaine has come out with some really good characters to help previous characters from Sumeru to be that much better. And I really want to talk about Cyno. Now, Cyno has been out for a while, and my boy Kagi, he's amazing. I love him as a voice actor, but Cyno has been one of those characters that I've kind of felt was always a little lackluster. Not outside of the character department, but just as a DPS. However, I do feel that he gains a massive benefit from Furina, and we're going to talk about an updated build guide for those who haven't actually summoned for him, because he's going to be coming out here very soon. In the next week, we'll actually be able to summon for him and Ayato. So today, we're going to be talking about an updated build guide for Cyno. Now, of course, if you like the content, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button down below. Hit that notification bell to be notified of when the next Genshin Impact video comes out. And of course, leave a comment. I would love to hear you guys' opinions on this. Guys, I am sponsored by Gamer Subs. Yes, the gluten-free, keto-friendly energy drink that is so good. Check out the link down in the description to get 10% off of your order. We actually have a whole thing going on right now where Anime Girl Thighs just relaunched again, but we get a 1 out of 10 container that becomes a limited edition container. You should get it. It's pretty good. And then of course the re-release of, you know, Cursed Energy, which is a collaboration flavor with Jujutsu Kaisen. Now, of course, without any further delay, let's go ahead and get right into it. Cyno, the General Mahamatra of Sumeru, is coming back to Genshin Impact as part of 4.2's Part 2, and I'm pretty excited for him because, again, he does get a benefit from Furina, and that's what I'm mainly going to be talking about in this video. But first, let's talk about when you're ascending him, because you got to ascend him from level 1 to level 90, and of course, build him properly. So first things first, we have these. We talk about these in every single video. The Vajrada Amethyst Silvers, the Amethyst Fragments, the Amethyst Chunks, and of course the Amethyst Gemstones. Remember your rules of 3. 3 of the silvers make a fragment, 3 of the fragments make a chunk, and 3 of the chunks make a gemstone. And you're gonna need a good chunk of these, but it's the same every time. 1 silver, 9 of the fragments, 9 of the chunks, 6 of the gemstones. Now you could farm a lot of bosses for Electro Mats. Electro Hypostasis being one of the earliest ones, followed by Thunder Manifestation being in Inazuma. You can go the Electro Regisvine, the Millennial Pearl Seahorse that just came out recently. You could also basically get this from a lot of other bosses. Like you could see Baptist actually drop them. What's his name? The Primo Giova shape. You could actually get it from him so long as he goes into the Electro stance. You have a chance of getting those. So there's that. You have plenty of opportunities. And you could also get it from the world boss Raiden Shogun and get those mats from there. Now, of course, I would say farm the Thunder Manifestation, or not Thunder, I'm sorry, the Electro Regisvine. I don't know why I thought Thunder Manifestation. The Electro Regisvine is something that you should farm for those previous mats because you're going to need the Thunderclap Fruit Core, which you get from the Electro Regisvine. Now, I was kind of dumb and I said the Electro Regisvine I think was in Inazuma. It's in Sumeru, so don't mind me. I'm kind of dumb, but let's move on. Lots of mistakes already, but Thunderclap Fruit Core is going to be the mat that you're going to need to level up your Cyno from level 1 to level 90, and you're going to need 46 of these in total, so you're going to be fighting the Electro Regisvine from 13 to 16 times, so be ready for that. It's going to be a little bit of a grind, but I think it's worth it. Now, of course, you're also going to need Scarabs, which you find in Sumeru. It is a Sumeru exclusive, item, and you're going to need to get 168 of these. For me, if you need to borrow Scarabs from my world, let me know. I have plenty. I have plenty of them and I don't need them anymore. But of course, ask your friends. They probably have some waiting for you. Now we're going to scroll down to talk about this next part because you're going to need a bunch of these little divining scrolls. You're going to need 18 of the regular divining scrolls. You're going to need 30 of the sealed scrolls, and finally you're going to need 36 of these forbidden curse scrolls. Now again, remember your rules of 3. The divining scroll, 3 of those will make these little sealed scrolls, and 3 of the sealed scrolls will make the forbidden curse scrolls. So you're going to need a good chunk of those. Now, let's go ahead and dive into triple crowning, because triple crowning is a lot of time, a lot of stuff going on. So let's go ahead and talk about what you're going to need. First things first, you're going to need 9 of these teachings of admonition. You're going to need 63 of these guides of admonition, and then of course 114 of the philosophies of admonition. Now, again, rules of 3 of the teachings make a guide, 3 of the guides make a philosophy. We get it. I talk about it all the time. And yeah, you could get this from the domain over in Sumeru that releases Mondays, Thursdays, and of course Sundays for everyone. Now, you're going to need more of these scrolls as well. You're going to need 18 more of the divining scrolls, 63 more of the, or sorry, 66 more of the sealed scrolls, and 93 of the forbidden curse scrolls on top of what you had before. And then, of course, we're also going to talk about this little mat here, the Mudra of the Malefic General. You get this from fighting Scaramouche, world boss. Now, you're going to need 18 of these, which can be a pain in the butt. Or no, I'm sorry. Not Scaramouche. I don't know what I was thinking with that one. You're going to need this from the Raiden Shogun fight. So that's my bad. The Raiden Shogun fight is what you're going to need to get these Mudra of Malefic Generals. I'm pretty sure. I don't think I'm that dumb. Am I that dumb? Okay, yeah. No, I'm right. I knew it. I knew I was right. I was losing my mind for a second. I don't know why. But you're going to need 18 of these Mudra of the Malefic Generals, which you get from the Raiden Shogun boss fight. And of course, 3 crowns of insight to top it all off for your triple crown. Now, for all of Cyno, you're going to need about 7.1 million Mora, which is a lot, but it's what you got to do to get your character maxed out. So, let's go ahead and jump right into Cyno and how I built Cyno for this whole shindig, right? So first things first, I want to talk about his talents, right? So he is a pole arm electro user. So your skill right here is going to be one of the main things that you're going to be using. The skill Secret Art or Secret Rite Chasmic Soulfarer performs a swift thrust dealing electro damage to opponents along the path. When Cyno is under the Packsworn Path Clearer state, which is his burst, triggered by Sacred Rite Wolf's swiftness, he will instead unleash a Mortuary Rite that deals thunderous AoE electro damage and extends the duration of Packsworn Path Clearer. And then, of course, we go into the Sacred Rite Wolf Swiftness, and we're going to talk about, what exactly all this does. Packsworn Path Clearer, Cyno's normal charged and plunging attacks will be converted to electro damage that cannot be overridden. So you could use them with Bennett, and you get that bonus just fine. Cyno's elemental mastery and resistance to interruption will increase, and he gains immunity to electro charged attacks, which is very, very big. Now, of course, we go into the Featherfall Judgment, which is the first Ascension passive. When Cyno is in the Packsworn Path Clearer state, activated by Sacred Rite Wolf's Swiftness, Cyno will enter the Endseer stance at intervals. If the activated Secret Rite Chasmic Soulfarer, while affected by this stance, he will activate the Judication effect. It's a lot of big words that I have a hard time reading, which increases the damage of the Secret Rite Chasmic Soulfarer by 35% and firing off 3 Dusk Stalker bolts that deal 100% of Cyno's attack as electro damage. And the Dust Stalker bolt damage is considered elemental skill damage. And then we go into the Authority over the 9 Bows, which is the second Ascension passive. Cyno's damage value will be increased based on his elemental mastery as follows. Packsworn Path Clearer's normal attack damage is increased by 150% of his elemental mastery, and Dust Stalker bolt damage will, from his passive talent, Featherfall Judgment, is increased by 250% of his elemental mastery, which is why elemental mastery plays such a huge role into Cyno's kit. Now let's go ahead and talk about my Cyno. I'm a 61 over 201 for crit damage, which is going to be the main stats you're going to focus on, followed by EM. My EM, not so great, being at 317, but he still does pretty good. Energy recharge at 130%, but that's going to only take, it's going to take backseat to the crits, your EM, and your attack percentage. That's your main goals for your Cyno. For weapon choices, Staff of Scarlet Sands is his best weapon because that's the weapon for him, followed by this, the Primordial Jade Winged Spear. On hit, increases attack by 4.6% for 6 seconds and of a max 7 stacks. You want to get your attack percentage up because he is going to dual scale off of Elemental Mastery and attack percentage. Now, of course, you could also use the 4-star weapon, the Ballad of the Jords, I think is what it's called, the Ballad of Jords. If I could find it, I'm pretty sure I pulled it at least. No, did I not pull it? Wow, sadness. I thought I pulled that weapon. Crying. But yeah, Ballad of Jords is a new weapon that, or no, it was not a pull. It's one of the weapons you get from the Battle Pass. I'm dumb. Again, losing my mind. But another Battle Pass weapon that's actually pretty good for him is actually Deathmatch. If there are at least 2 opponents nearby, attack is increased by 32% and defense is increased by 32%. If there are fewer than 2 opponents nearby, attack is increased by 48%, which is good if you're comparing that to the Primordial Jade Winged Spear. You're going for a 4.6% times 7 stacks, which isn't as much, but at the same time, I feel this still works really, really well. And not only that, while in possession of the maximum possible stacks, your damage dealt is also increased by 18%, which works really, really well. A couple of other weapons you could use. White Tassel is one that I've seen people use, and you could also use this one, the Missive Wind Spear, which a lot of people talked about being a good alternative for him, but still I think there are better alternatives to that alternative as well. Let's talk about artifacts. I went with a 4-piece Gilded Dreams, and the reason why I went for it, 2-piece increases your elemental mastery by 80, and then the 4-piece within 8 seconds of triggering an elemental reaction. The character equipping this will obtain buffs based on the elemental type of the other party members. Attack is increased by 14% for each party member whose elemental type is the same as the equipping character, and elemental mastery is increased by 50 for every party member with a different elemental type. That's big for the team that I'm going to be running because I'm going to have at least 3 different types, which means that I'm going to be gaining, you know, I think it's 100 on that as well. So there's that, which is pretty pog indeed, you know what I mean? And then for artifacts in general, you could also run a 4-piece Thundering Fury, which is good for electro damage dealers in general. And then you also have the Thunder Soothers. Actually, like, that could surprisingly work. I was actually shocked when I heard that people were running Thunder Soother. 2-piece electro resistance increased by 40%. 4-piece set increases damage against opponents affected by electro by 35%, which works really, really well with Cyno, who is a electro character. So pog. Or you could go for a 2-piece 2-piece Thundering Fury, 2-piece Gilded Dreams, but I went with the Gilded Dreams just to get that extra elemental mastery. And then, of course, when you're looking at your main stats, we already talked about crits being your main things, followed by EM, followed by attack, followed by energy recharge. But for your Sands, you want to run an EM Sands to kind of capitalize on more elemental mastery, followed by your Goblet being electro damage bonus, makes the most sense. You could also go for EM as well, but I would still go for the electro damage bonus. And then, of course, your Circlet being either crit rate, crit damage, depending on your current stats. Now, the team I'm running the Cyno on is to capitalize on how Furina works, followed by Baiju being that burst healer, but you can even run someone like Jean to run that burst healing. And then Nahida giving us that Dendro application as well to help with the Hyper Bloom. So let's go ahead and face Masanori and give him a good freaking show because this dude's gonna get knocked out easy, I'm pretty sure. And I'm gonna show off what the passive, the first Ascension passive was talking about. But first, we gotta get his ability up. So let's go ahead and get that going. Get Nahida to do that, and then we're gonna continue to keep our HP up while Furina does her magic. There we go. Temple of Wisdom. Let's get that going. And we're just gonna go for our ability here. Get this going. Get everything set up, ready to go. And then go into the burst. Now, as you can see, I'm gonna wait until it comes up. You'll see this eyeball pop up, and that's when you want to activate your skill to get all that going. And that's just one of those. Destroyed Masanori. But like, that's the whole thing. You see this eye and you activate your skill and it does way more damage. And your skill regenerates rather quickly while under that. So it's really, really crucial that you have that going. Cyno is definitely fun. And I feel like, again, Furina just helps so many characters that really did need kind of the boost in teams. And Cyno is one of them. Cyno works really, really well with her. And of course, you could switch out other characters. You don't have to always run Furina. You could run Cyno, Kazuha, Kuki Shinobu with the Hida. You could run Cyno, Furina, Official Jean. There's other things that could work really, really well, like 4 stars instead of certain 5 stars, and you go from there. But I digress. Cyno is actually a lot more fun, I think. For me, I haven't really played him too much, but honestly, putting him with Furina has given me another, like, yeah, he's actually kind of fun. So if you suffer for Cyno, hopefully I've helped you out a little bit, minus all the stuttering that I've been doing. And of course, that's going to be it for today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed my Cyno build guide here. Let me know in the comments down below if there's something that I forgot or I messed up on. Do you like Cyno, and have you, or are you going to be summoning for him? Let me know in the comments down below. But anyways, y'all, that's going to be it. Love you all to death. And as always, we will catch you in the next video. Please take care and be safe.